Welcome to Graduate Guru. We are starting a new chapter in this session, which is final accounts of banking companies. Okay, now we know what is a banking company. Basically, bank क्या होता है? जहाँ पे we deposit money and we can also take loan from that institute. So that becomes a bank. But a banking company generally is a bank which is registered under the Companies Act. And जैसे हमने already किया हुआ है earlier in some other topic that companies have to follow a fixed format. वैसे ही banks के लिए भी there is a format for maintaining their final accounts. So उनका income expenditure statement, that is profit and loss, उनका balance sheet has to be maintained in that particular format only. And that is what we are basically going to do in this particular chapter. So first I'll give you a brief idea about what a bank is, what are its functions, etc. And then we'll go to the detailed formats of the balance sheets and the P&L account. So first I'll give you the definition of banking, which is given in the Banking Regulation Act. And it says, banking is defined as the accepting for the purpose of lending or investment of deposits of money from the public, repayable on demand or otherwise, and withdrawable by check, draft, order or otherwise. So let's break up this definition into parts and understand what a bank does. So they have said accepting. Accepting is taking money from the public. So जैसे हम savings account खोलते हैं बैंक में, we put our money into the bank. So that is the bank accepting our money. So हमारा जो पैसा है, that is accepted by the bank. But why are they taking that money? So the next part says, for the purpose of, so जो हमारा पैसा उन्होंने accept किया है, जो उन्होंने लिया है, that is used by them for lending, that means giving loans to somebody else, or investment. तो वही पैसा वो कहीं और invest करेंगे और उसका जो income आएगा, that is passed on to the customers, that is the people who are keeping their money with the bank. So of deposits of money from the public. So that covers what I have already told you. So they are accepting deposits of what? Of money from the public. And what are they using it for? To give loans or to make investments. Repayable on demand. Now this is the catch line over here for banks. That when we give our money to the banks, हमें जब भी that पैसा वापस चाहिए, we can ask the bank to give us that money because it's our money. So repayable on demand means when I demand my money back, the bank will have to have sufficient cash to give me that money or otherwise. So sometimes it is for a fixed period. जैसे अगर हम fixed deposit में पैसा रखते हैं, then I cannot ask the bank to give it to me anytime. The bank will give it to me only after the period of the fixed deposit is over. So on demand is for basically savings account or current account, that is the business account. But if it is fixed deposit or recurring deposit, then I have to wait for the period to end and only then the bank will give me back that money. And how can I get that money back? Withdrawable by check. We all know what a check is. It's a leaf which helps me to remove money from the bank. I take that check to the bank and the bank will stamp it and give me money which is written on that check. Draft. We know about demand draft. So sometimes check and demand draft almost the same. Order. So there is a pay order instead of a check or a demand draft or otherwise. So there are various other ways also in which I can withdraw money from bank. Like the latest addition is the online banking where I can use ATM machines to withdraw money from my account. So this basically explains to us what a banking company is and what it does. So let us quickly glance through the functions of the banks. So first is, from the definition only I know the first function, receiving deposits. So obviously the bank takes a lot of deposits from the public. Bank only runs by money. Bank के लिए commodity क्या है? पैसा, cash, money. So without getting any deposit from the public, the bank will not be able to function. So that is their first function, receiving money or receiving deposits from the public. Second is, what do they do with that money? They give loans. So lending that same money which they got as deposit to somebody else as a loan. So lending of money is their second function. Third function is making investments on its own account or for the customers. So जो भी extra पैसा उनके पास है, which they have received as deposit, but they have not used to give it as a loan, then that extra money they can invest somewhere. They invest for their own selves also. They also invest for their customers. Sometimes banking customers just hand over the cash to the bank and they say हमारे account में इतना पैसा है, उसे सही जगह पे invest करो so that we earn the maximum income. So bank can do that function also for their customers. Then transferring money from place to place is another function of the bank. So जैसे हम अगर मुझे कहीं out of city किसी को पैसा भेजना है, I may send that money through check, or nowadays I can do it through online banking. But what am I using? I am using my bank to transfer that money. So it becomes safer. किसी को cash भेजने से अच्छा है उसे check भेजो. It becomes safer. So banks allow me to transfer money from one place to the other. Then they may also issue letters of credit. Now what is letter of credit? Generally, when two businessmen are dealing with each other, और अगर वो एक दूसरे को नहीं जानते हैं, then they want some guarantee that that person is genuine. वो जो business कर रहा है वो सही है या नहीं, उसकी एक guarantee चाहिए. तो bank will give that guarantee in the form of a letter of credit. The bank will say that yes, I know this person, Mr. A, Mr. B, whatever, and he is a genuine person. उसका हमारे बैंक में account है, so he will not do any fraud. He will give back your money to you. या जो भी आप उससे business करोगे, you won't be cheated in that business. So that is a letter of credit. Then the bank will also provide you safe custody of security and valuable. और ये बैंक कैसे करती है? We have heard of locker system in the bank. So I can pay some charges to the bank और बैंक मुझे एक locker देगी. वहाँ पर I can put my jewelry, I can put some important documents and it will remain safe over there. That locker can only be accessed by me. मेरे अलावा वो locker और कोई नहीं खोल सकता. It is password protected. It is protected under lock and key. Next is issuing guarantees. So sometimes when a person is taking a loan from somebody else, they may keep their banker as a guarantor. So banker will say that yes, this person will pay back your money on time and with the correct amount of interest. So that guarantee is also given by banks. Then the bank may act as a trustee or या किसी के will में, they may become the signatory to that will. So these are small other functions which the bank performs. So generally a bank की जहाँ पर भी sign या seal आ जाती है, that document becomes very genuine and it becomes valuable. So people prefer to take a stamp of the bank, जो हमारा account already उस बैंक के पास है, और अगर वो बैंक हमें एक डॉक्यूमेंट पे स्टैम्प करके देती है that yes, I know that person, then that document becomes more valuable. And that is why they act as executors or trustees for certain documents and wills and trusts, etc. Then the bank also deals in foreign exchange. Foreign exchange transactions can only be done through banks. Okay? So if I want to travel abroad, मुझे say dollars चाहिए, then I will go to my bank and I will exchange my rupees against dollars. So again, I can use that, and when जो भी बाकी के dollars बच जाएंगे, when I return back, that also again I can exchange against rupees. And finally, they act as managers for issue of shares. You know that companies come out with public issues, and उस issue को manage करने के लिए, if the issue is very big, the company cannot handle it by itself, then they appoint a banker to manage that issue. So these are some of the functions which are performed by banks. Now, as I said that banks have to maintain their accounts in a particular manner. But banks के transactions normal business transactions से बहुत अलग हैं. And that is why their system of bookkeeping is also slightly different. जैसे हमने अब तक किया है journal, ledger, then from ledger you prepare trial balance, and finally from trial balance you prepare the final accounts. Bank also has a similar system, but it does not exactly follow the journal to ledger posting and then ledger to trial balance posting. So for the banks, they follow a different system because day in and day out, they are dealing with cash. So there is a separate kind of a system which is devised by these banks, made by the banks to make their accounting work easier and simpler. So the first feature of this particular transaction, the accounting system of banks, is slip system of voucher posting. Now what is this slip system? यहाँ पर जो भी पर्सनल लेजर्स हैं, जैसे if I have an account with bank, so say I am Mr. A, I have an account with bank XYZ. There is Mr. B who also has an account, Mr. C also has an account, और वैसे बहुत सारे लोग हैं जिनके accounts are maintained by the bank. So for each of this person, the bank maintains a personal ledger. So मैं जब भी पैसे डालूंगी मेरे अकाउंट में, या जब भी पैसे I will withdraw from that account, all these transactions will go to my personal ledger. जैसे हम पासबुक लेते हैं बैंक से या स्टेटमेंट आता है हमें बैंक से, that is nothing but a reflection of your personal account with the bank. So that is maintained in a personal ledger. So entries in the personal ledger are made directly from the vouchers. What are the vouchers? Now whenever I want to deposit money in my account, I use a pay in slip book. So हम एक स्लिप भरते हैं, उसमें हम हमारा अकाउंट नंबर लिखते हैं, हमारा नाम लिखते हैं, and we write down what we are depositing, whether it's cash or it is check. So that becomes the voucher for the bank. And वहाँ से जो बैंक स्टैम्प हमें दे देगा, so एक पार्ट हमारे पास आ जाता है, and one part of the slip is still with the bank. So they use that to make an entry in your personal ledger. So say you are Mr. A, you have deposited 10,000 into your bank account. That pay-in slip which you filled up, bank will use that pay-in slip to make an entry in your ledger which they have maintained. So Mr. A's ledger दिखेगा बैंक के accounts में. Okay? So the vouchers could be pay-in slip, या अगर हम पैसा निकाल रहे हैं तो it is generally a check. So check या pay-in slip बन जाता है voucher, and based on that voucher the entry is done in the personal ledger. So that's the slip system of voucher posting. Then there is voucher summary sheets. Summary sheet क्या होता है? एक statement जिसमें हम सारी details की summary देते हैं, means क्या क्या हुआ है पूरे दिन में, that is recorded in one particular statement. So that becomes your summary sheet. So the vouchers which are entered on the daily basis, जो मैंने कहा personal ledgers में हम जो भी entries करते हैं, each day are summarized into the voucher summary sheet. So इस दिन पे Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C ने कितना पैसा अकाउंट में डाला, कितना पैसा अकाउंट से निकाला, उसका एक स्टेटमेंट बनता है, and that is nothing but my voucher summary sheet. Then we have a daily trial balance. Normal companies में हम क्या करते हैं? We make a trial balance at the end of the year. पूरा साल खत्म होने के बाद हम trial balance बनाते हैं, but banks के लिए every day they have to make a trial balance, and that trial balance is of the general ledger. तो जैसे पर्सनल लेजर है वैसे ही बैंक्स मेंटेन करते हैं जनरल लेजर, एंड उसका एक डेली ट्रायल बैलेंस निकलता है. देन देयर इज कंटिन्यूअस चेक्स. सो ऑल द एंट्रीज व्हिच वी हैव ऑलरेडी पास, जो हमने ऊपर देखा स्लिप सिस्टम में, वाउचर एंट्रीज जो हमने की पर्सनल लेजर्स में, दैट इज इमीडिएटली चेक्ड बाय समबडी एल्स. सो जब हम बैंक में एंटर करते हैं, आई विल गिव माय पे इन स्लिप टू द कैशियर. Cashier will take money, okay? Now at the end of the day, cashier अपना हिसाब दिखाएगा कि इतने पैसे आए हैं on these accounts. Somebody else other than the cashier will again sit and check that whether that is correct or not. So that's a continuous check होते रहता है ताकि mistakes ना हो, because obviously they are dealing with money of the public which has to be kept safe. Then there are control accounts. So, हर लेजर जो हम मेंटेन करते हैं उसका एक ऑपोजिट लेजर भी मेंटेन होता है which keeps a control. So if I am debiting this account, there will be a corresponding credit in another account, and at the end of the day I have to see that the debits are equal to the credits. Why? Because here we are not passing journal entries. So it's important to keep this control so that it is checked at the end of the period whether the debits and credits are equivalent. And we have डबल वाउचर. सो अगेन जो जहाँ पे भी डेबिट वाउचर बनता है उसके सामने एक क्रेडिट वाउचर बन जाता है. सो दीज आर सर्टेन पेक्यूलियर वेज इन विच अकाउंट्स आर मेंटेन्ड बाय द बैंक. So various books are maintained by the bank such as general ledger, we have subsidiary books में we have personal ledger, we have bill register में जितने भी bills बैंक के पास आते हैं, जैसे bill discount होने के लिए आए या बैंक ने bill issue किए हैं, so those bills are again maintained in another register. And we have some other registers such as, because bank is giving demand drafts, then they give travelers checks, बहुत सारे documents बैंक issue करती है, तो हर document के लिए एक अलग register maintain किया जाता है so that a control is kept. Then we also have different journals kept by the different departments. So we have departmental journals, we have cash department which maintains its own books. So जो भी cash dealing होता है उसके लिए अलग set of books होते हैं. And then we have your आउटवर्ड क्लियरिंग डिपार्टमेंट, जैसे बैंक्स के पास जब भी चेक आते हैं वैसे ही बैंक अपने जो चेक्स इश्यू कर रही है, इट हैज टू क्लियर दोज चेक्स आउटसाइड. व्हेन एज अ अकाउंट होल्डर आई गिव अ चेक टू समबडी, वो अपने बैंक में डिपॉजिट करेगा, उसकी बैंक मेरी बैंक को कॉन्टैक्ट करेगी एंड अमाउंट विल बी ट्रांसफर्ड फ्रॉम माई अकाउंट टू हिज अकाउंट. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड क्लियरिंग. सो उसके लिए अलग से रजिस्टर्स मेंटेन होते हैं. And then they have a separate loans department जहाँ पर कितना लोन दिया है, किसको दिया है, for what period, 5 years, 10 years, 1 year, 2 years, whatever is the period, interest कब लेना है उनसे या उनको कब डेबिट करना है उनका अकाउंट with the interest. So all this is again maintained by the loan department. So this is basically how a bank functions. Now I don't need to go into the details of all this. ये books हम maintain नहीं करने वाले हैं. In this chapter, what we are going to see is how to maintain the final accounts of the bank. So our main aim is how to prepare the balance sheet and the profit and loss account for the bank. So that's what we are going to move on to now. I'll be giving you the format of the balance sheet and the profit and loss account. So this is basically how a balance sheet of a bank looks like. Form A is the form, basically the format is given under this form A. Okay. So generally जैसा हमारा बैलेंस शीट होता है, we have capital and liabilities on one side and we have assets on the other side. वैसा ही कुछ ये फॉर्मेट है, but only because the bank mainly is dealing with cash. तो यहाँ पर there are certain amounts which will be shown in a different manner. So we start with capital. Capital है, reserves and surplus है, which anyway we have for all our companies also. So that is basically almost similar. We'll just see how to present it in the schedule. Now, if you remember, आप companies में note number लिखते थे, वैसे ही यहाँ पे we have schedule number, and the schedule numbers are fixed over here. You cannot change the schedule number as per your requirement. So if there is nothing in that particular schedule, we'll still write the schedule and put a dash over there. Okay. So schedule 1 and 2 will be for capital and the reserves. So the third schedule is for deposits. Now what we need to understand is that जब हम बैंक में पैसा deposit करते हैं, that is we keep our money in the bank, for the bank it becomes a liability. So this deposits is whatever the bank has taken, जो हमने definition में भी पढ़ा था, that it accepts deposits. So जितने सारे deposits बैंक ने accept किए हैं from the customers in various accounts. It could be savings account, current account, fixed deposit account, recurring deposit account. So there are various ways in which the bank collects deposits and all those deposits will be shown over here because वो amount bank को वापस देना है. That is not the bank's money. It is the money of the customer. They have to give it back. So it's the liability. So that comes under deposit. So this is basically going to be our major schedule in any sum. Then we have borrowings. जैसे companies loan लेती है, वैसे बैंक्स को भी पैसों की जरूरत पड़ती है to run their business and they may have taken loans, they may have borrowed money from the people. So that's again their liability. So borrowings will be our schedule 4. And then anything else which does not fall in deposits or borrowings. Obviously capital reserves is capital only. So other than deposits and borrowings, अगर बैंक की और कोई liability है, which we'll see when we are writing the schedule, that what other liabilities a bank can have, that will come under other liabilities and provisions. So basically यहाँ पर जो liability side है, that majorly concentrates on deposits and borrowings because these two are the major liabilities of any bank. Coming to the asset side, we have cash and balance with Reserve Bank of India. कैश ऑब्वियसली बैंक के पास जितना भी कैश है वो एसेट साइड पे दिखेगा. एंड बैलेंस विथ रिजर्व बैंक. व्हाई एम आई मेंशनिंग रिजर्व बैंक ओवर हियर? जैसे एज अ नॉर्मल कस्टमर आई पुट माय मनी इन से XYZ बैंक, that XYZ bank puts its money with Reserve Bank. They have to maintain certain balances with the bank. Reserve Bank is the main bank of any country. Of our country, it's Reserve Bank. Any other country, central bank is the main bank of the country. So Reserve Bank is the banker of all the banks. So हमारे country में जितने भी banks हैं, उन सब के लिए बैंक कौन है? Reserve Bank. So each and every bank has to maintain a balance with them, and that is shown separately over here as cash and balance with Reserve Bank. Then we have balances with other banks. अगर किसी जिस बैंक की हम अकाउंट्स लिख रहे हैं उन्होंने किसी और बैंक में अपना अकाउंट खोला है या किसी और बैंक में उन्होंने डिपॉजिट किया है, then that will appear over here. We'll see all of this when we are doing the schedule, so you'll understand each and everything clearly. Then investments, whatever bank has invested on their own behalf, that investments will come over here, just like we invest in shares or debentures of companies or in government securities. All of that will be shown here. Advances, if the bank has given any advances, any amount paid in advance, that will come here. Fixed assets, and that is shown as one head. यहाँ पे breakup नहीं दिखाते हैं. The breakup is generally shown in the schedule, which we'll prepare in some time. And any other assets, जैसे यहाँ पे other liabilities थी, वैसे ही यहाँ पर other assets है. Okay, so this is how the basic balance sheet structure looks. And at the end of the balance sheet, you have to mention your contingent liabilities. What are contingent liabilities? They are those liabilities which we don't show in the main accounts, because whether I have to pay that liability or not is not sure. If I have to pay, how much I will have to pay, that is also not sure. तो जहाँ पर time of payment करना है या नहीं, and amount of payment is not sure, you show such a liability in contingent liability. एंड हर बैंक के लिए दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. बिल्स फॉर कलेक्शन, जो कस्टमर्स ने हमें बिल दिए हैं टू कलेक्ट ऑन देयर बिहाफ, नॉट बिल्स डिस्काउंटेड, दैट इज अगेन डिफरेंट, बट दिस इज बिल्स कलेक्ट विच वी आर गोइंग टू कलेक्ट ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ द customers. So that is shown as a contingent liability or below the balance sheet liability. So now let us understand how each schedule will look within the balance sheet of the bank. So the first schedule we are starting with is capital. अब यहाँ पर जो main format है वहाँ पे if you are a nationalized bank are a special category of banks which are run by the governments. So अगर nationalized bank है तो पूरा capital is owned by the government. So वो अलग से दिखाते हैं. If it is a foreign bank जिनका branch इंडिया में है and that is why they have to make accounts in this format, उनके लिए again you have to show it in a different manner. Because foreign bank है तो foreign shareholders का कितना stake है and all that has to be mentioned. Those two I am not touching about. We are going to normal banks. We are talking about a normal Indian bank which is not nationalized bank. Okay. So for them you have to show your authorized capital first. So authorized में दिखाएंगे so many shares of rupees so much each. जैसे हम नॉर्मल कंपनीज के लिए बताते हैं कितने शेयर्स हैं, so that is shown. And authorized capital is never taken in the total, so we double underline that. After that you show your issued, subscribed and called up capital. This is very similar to what we have been doing for our normal companies also. So कितने shares issue किए हैं, you can show that as all the three as separate, or if there is just one amount given in your sum, you can show it as one head, issued, कितना subscribe हुआ है उसमें से capital, and कितना हमने call up किया है. So again over here I'll show so many shares of rupees so much each. Okay, and if there is any calls in arrears, unpaid calls अगर है, so that will be subtracted. एंड अगर हमारे ट्रायल बैलेंस में शेयर्स फॉरफिटेड अकाउंट है तो दैट विल बी एडेड ओवर हियर. Unpaid calls is nothing but your calls in arrears. So shares forfeited, account added, and unpaid calls या calls in arrears you will subtract. So after doing that, you will get your capital. Okay. So this is how our first schedule will look like for capital. Going to the second schedule, which is for reserves and surplus. Now reserves and surplus also is very similar to what we have been showing for the companies. So there you could have general reserve, you could have capital reserve. There are various reserves which you can have. You can also have your security premium account. So these are all the reserves which you can write, and for each and every reserve, what you are going to show is your opening balance plus any additions during the year. That is, उस reserve में अगर हमने कुछ transfer किया है तो, and minus any deductions during the year. So for each and every reserve, you have to show this breakup. Opening balance plus addition minus deduction. And what you have to remember here is that P&L account हमें अलग से बताना है. So P&L account generally comes at the fag end of the account. So P&L account will appear at the end. And that will be our total of reserve. So जो भी हमारे sum में दिया है information, you will show each reserve separately. और अगर हर रिजर्व के लिए ये ब्रेकअप है हमारे पास, ओपनिंग बैलेंस, एडिशन एंड डिडक्शन, देन दैट वी आर गोइंग टू शो. नाउ कमिंग टू द मेन शेड्यूल, व्हिच एज आई सेड बैंक्स के लिए सबसे मेजर लायबिलिटी जो है वो है डिपॉजिट्स, व्हिच दे हैव टेकन फ्रॉम वेरियस कस्टमर्स. सो दैट बिकम्स आवर शेड्यूल नंबर 3, and that is deposits. Now in deposits, we have to be very particular about how we are showing it. So, number 1 within deposits is demand deposits. Under demand deposits, we have from banks, means other banks, हमारे अलावा जो किसी बैंक से हमने demand deposit लिया है, then that, or from others. Others is all the other normal customers who have given us demand deposit. Now demand deposit generally includes your savings account or deposits etc. because वो कभी भी customer हमसे वो पैसा मांग सकते हैं. So those are called demand deposits. Demand deposits means the bank will have to pay it whenever the customer demands it. So savings account is one such account which the customer can come any day, any time and say that I want this much money from my account. So that becomes a demand deposit. So here I have to show the breakup that from bank हमें कितना पैसा मिला है as demand deposit and from others हमें कितना मिला है. Then we have savings bank deposits. So here savings bank, we are the small savings account holder, as I told. They are also demand deposits, but here they are shown separately. So ये demand deposits अलग रहेंगे and savings account के जो भी deposits है वो हम अलग बताएंगे. And then we have term deposits. Now term deposits is nothing but like your fixed deposit etc. जो एक fixed period के लिए bank लेती है from its customers. So fixed deposit which the customer puts with the bank, that is going to be shown under term deposits. And again for term deposits also I have to show this same breakup. So अगर term deposit हमें किसी और बैंक से मिली है then that separately, otherwise from others. Okay, so this is the format that I have to follow. Now what is peculiar over here is ये एक total हमें मिल जाएगा, which total should rightly go to the balance sheet. So that total will come over here. Now, other than this breakup, there is one more breakup which the schedule requires. So one is deposits of branches in India. And deposits of branches outside India, that is foreign branches. Branches in India and branches outside India. So basically what we are showing over here is ये जो deposits है इसका total और इसका total match होगा. We are only grouping it in a different manner. यहाँ पे we are grouping it according to the nature. So demand deposit, savings bank and term deposits. ये तीन groups है. So under these groups there may be Indian deposits also and foreign deposits also. सारा कुछ यहाँ पे mix है. But here again I am grouping it in another way. तो यहाँ पर इसमें ये जो total amount है इसमें Indian branches में कितने deposits पड़े हैं that and foreign branches में कितने deposits पड़े हैं, because a bank can have branches in India and outside India. So here I am going to show a total. First head-wise demand, savings and term. Second is in India and outside India. Both these totals should always match. ये information most of the times हमारे पास sum में नहीं होगा. So we will not write this for the sum. But for understanding it is very important. But you should always understand that this and this total has to be the same. So यहाँ पर एक ही amount आएगा. You will not write this amount two times. Okay. Now we'll go ahead with borrowings. So I'll need space for that. So take down your schedules first from capital to deposits. Then we'll continue with the other schedules. So now let's go to schedule number 4 for borrowings. And as I said, these are the loans which the bank takes from various people. So किनसे loan लेते हैं majorly? So first यहाँ पे again the breakup is, first head is borrowings in India. So within that we have three categories. So first is Reserve Bank of India. Every bank, if they need funds, they will take loan from the Reserve Bank. Reserve Bank is like the parent bank. So जब भी बैंक के पास cash crunch होता है, that is they really require funds जब उनके पास नहीं होते हैं, Reserve Bank gives them loans. So that will come here. Then banks may take loans from other banks also. So that will be shown separately. And then third will be from anybody else. So the head which is to be used is other institutions and agencies. So anybody else, that is any private loan if the bank has taken, then that will come over here. And second will be borrowings outside India. So any loans taken from any foreign parties, whether banks or agency or institution, वो सारा कुछ एक ही हेड में आ जाएगा. यहाँ पे we don't show any breakup. So borrowings in India, borrowings outside India, that gives me my total borrowings. Okay, but again over here they require us to show that how much is secured. So secured borrowings included above. So only I have to give the amount of secured borrowings. Again, ये amount कहीं भी नहीं जाएगा. It is already included in this. This amount which I get, I will show over here in my balance sheet against borrowings. Okay? But जो secured का amount है, that is just for disclosure. वो सिर्फ हमें reveal करना है that इतने secured है, तो obviously बाकी के हो गए unsecured. But that amount is not to be shown anywhere in the balance sheet. It's just a disclosure in the schedule. Then coming to our next head, which is our other liabilities and provisions. And as I said, जो भी deposits या borrowings में नहीं आएगा, that is all included over here in other liabilities and provisions. So here again, what is included is your bills payable. So if the bank has accepted any bill for somebody, what is bills payable? जिस बिल के सामने बैंक को पैसे भरने हैं किसी और को, that becomes a bill payable for the bank. So that will come over here, that's their liability. We have inter-office adjustments. Now this inter-office adjustments basically can be an asset also, it can be a liability also. So this will appear when we are doing the asset side schedules also. So inter-office adjustment means जब एक branch दूसरे branch के साथ कोई dealing करती है and if some amount is payable because of that, then that comes over here and net amount. So liability minus asset, अगर liability side ज़्यादा है, then it will come under the liability side. Otherwise, if the asset side is more, it will go to other assets. So that we'll see when we do the asset side schedule. Then we have interest accrued. Means जो बैंक को interest pay करना है अपने customers को, if that has become accrued, means उसकी date आ गई है, it's become due on that particular date. Not due basically, but when we are talking about year ending, suppose 31st March, bank is not paying interest on 31st March, last interest they paid was on 31st December. तो 3 महीने का interest जो है pay करना नहीं है, but still it will be shown as a liability. And then we finally have others, including provisions. So जो भी हम provisions करते हैं, okay, generally provisions बैंक के लिए बहुत सारे bad debts होते हैं when they can't recover the loans and all. So those provisions will also all be included under this head. Okay, we will not subtract it from the asset. Generally हम क्या करते हैं, debtors minus bad debts. But banks के लिए that is not allowed. Banks के लिए provisions उन्हें अलग से यहाँ पर बताने हैं. So all other liabilities जैसे कोई outstanding expense हो गया या some amount which is payable, whatever is a liability doesn't fall under these three, that is bills payable, inter-office adjustment and interest accrued, and it is not a deposit, it is not a borrowing also. In that case, it will all be grouped under this others, and it also includes our provisions. So this is our schedules for the liability side. So we've seen 5 schedules so far. In the next session, I'll be taking up the schedules for the asset side of the balance sheet, and also we'll be looking at the format of the profit and loss account of a bank. Thank you.